Everybody doing okay tonight? We're on a little bit early tonight, but wanted to make sure everything worked this time. Last week we had some trouble. Alright, here we go. Alright, welcome everybody. We are live and we are talking about lowering blood pressure naturally. And our framework is the blood pressure triangle. I talk about it a lot, not a gang symbol, just a triangle. We're talking about the blood pressure triangle, and we are talking about how to lower your blood pressure naturally. My name is Joel. I'm a nurse and a naturopath for 20 years, and today we are going to be talking about a lot of different products. I will be putting them in my TikTok pin. So you can't hear me? Oh dear. Let's see. Oh. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? Yes, perfect. All right. Excellent, excellent. So we are talking about blood pressure and the blood pressure triangle. Okay, so we're talking about the blood pressure triangle and how to lower our blood pressure naturally using herbs and supplements. So I'll be posting different products over on my TikTok. I'll be talking about different supplements and things. But when it comes to supplements, I want to preface this at the very beginning. I am not a proponent of you replacing pharmaceuticals with supplements and not fixing the problem. It's really important that we find the cause. That is how I teach people to lower blood pressure, is by finding the cause. Because what happens is that oftentimes people will seek to fix their blood pressure by taking a pill, right? You take a pill, and your pills, unfortunately, are not healing you. Because the issue with the pharmaceuticals is that they do not fix the problem. They do not fix the cause at all. They only manage the symptoms. And so when you're managing symptoms, your body is just trying to cope. You're not actually healing the problem. And so I help people identify the problem. And hey Sylvia, welcome. When you identify the problem, you're able to heal your body completely. I don't know what's going on with my TikTok either. Oh my goodness. Whoa. All right, so my voice is vibrating. Uh-oh. Maybe it was because I was tapping. Can you hear me now? Is everything okay? So sorry for having technical difficulties. All right, trying to get this thing set up here. Let's struggling, as we like to say over at my house. We are talking about man, this thing is just not working for me tonight. So we're going to be going through supplements tonight. We talked the first night a couple weeks ago about a lot of different causes, of not you, Doc. Not you. We talked about a lot of different causes of blood pressure being high. And then the week after that, we talked about some of the things that we can do in our lifestyle to change our high blood pressure problem. And thanks, Toya, welcome. And so tonight, we're actually going to be going more in depth with why certain supplements work. But again, we want to focus on eliminating causes, ideally. And we do want to make sure that when it comes to finding causes, we are eliminating them. We're not keeping hold of them. Even if it's something that we've grown up with, something that's nostalgic to us, that is where blood pressure becomes genetic. Okay? So if my mom's diet was such that caused her to have high blood pressure, oftentimes my diet will be the same. And that's how high blood pressure gets passed down from generation to generation. It's not that there's a gene in your system that is a high blood pressure gene. Because if you had a high blood pressure gene, then you would have high blood pressure at the age of 5 or 6 or 10. And that would have been the story your whole life. But it wasn't, right? You started using your blood pressure cuff later in life. Things started catching up. Your body started breaking down on you. And so that is something that is lifestyle related. It's lifestyle related, okay? So, how to lower blood pressure the natural way, Ms. Mai? That's what we're talking about tonight. I'm going to tell you some key supplements that you are going to want to take a look at. We're going to talk about why they work. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the applications of finding causes, okay? Because it's so important, like it's foundational, and so I don't want to do any talking without including the causes. Let me first really quickly send a message to my subscribers because my Zoom is not working. So all right, let's do that. Post. All right, supplement number 1, and this one is magnesium. You hear me talk about magnesium all the time on my TikTok, Facebook, guys. Magnesium. This is not me telling you to buy it from me necessarily. It is cheap on my showcase on TikTok, but it's more important to me that you get magnesium and that you get the right kind of magnesium, okay? If you're taking magnesium capsules and pills, you're going to find that you are struggling to absorb magnesium, okay? Because your body has to break down that capsule, and it takes time. And then once it breaks it down, then it tries to absorb it before your body flushes it out. And so oftentimes, the amount that you're absorbing is not the efficiency that you really need, especially if you're a woman and you are struggling with hormone imbalance, then your deficiency is very high. If you're over 40 and you're a female, your deficiency is very high. Patricia, great. Good to hear. Thanks for buying. But this is something that is incredibly important for your body. There's 300 activities in your body that require magnesium. And when you're low, you suffer. So what does suffering from deficiency look like? Insomnia, leg cramps, that 3 a.m. wake period, that can't go back to sleep, the heart palpitations. And it doesn't affect blood pressure directly, but it does affect blood pressure indirectly by helping you sleep at night, decreasing your cortisol. Cortisol is one of the main triggers for a lot of you when it comes to high blood pressure. Cortisol is like gasoline on a fire. So your blood pressure is the fire, cortisol is the gasoline. It also works with your cellular function. So the balance of fluid in and out of your veins and arteries. So you have leg swelling, the fluid balance is off, and magnesium helps to balance that. So you're talking about muscle cramps, lactic acid buildup. A lot of athletes and stuff will do Epsom salt soaks. If you've ever needed an Epsom salt soak, that's magnesium. Okay, that's your body needing magnesium, and it does go through the skin well. So it is definitely, Camille, you're suffering from all the above. Yes, we are all suffering from magnesium deficiency. And the reason is because our soil is deficient. Like the soil that we have in America especially is very, very deficient. And what used to produce the magnesium that our bodies needed no longer does. And so it is incredibly important to get a supplement. How much magnesium do you need per day? This recommends 2 teaspoons per day, which is about 4 grams, and that's 77% of your daily value. Okay? I take a heaping tablespoon every night. So that's up to you. You can't overdose on this. What your body does with it is it just flushes it out of your bowels. That's why it is a laxative. That's why that works, is because your body just eliminates excess magnesium out of your bowel. So you can get it on my TikTok. You can go to my showcase. But you can get it anywhere. I can't say where you can get it because TikTok will slap my wrist. See, they already just did. Oh my goodness. I didn't even say anything. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yes, we love TikTok. Go on my showcase on TikTok. That's where you get the magnesium. Oh, Miss Beautiful, you're in the islands. Yeah, just look around. There's some foods that are high in magnesium too. Things like avocado, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, these types of things. A lot of seeds, nuts and seeds have magnesium in it. I took it last night and it had me going all day. Yeah, that just means, what's your name? Rhonda. Yeah, Rhonda, that your body has enough. And so you can cut down to a teaspoon or so a day. You kind of got to find a balance if your bowels start to run or get really loose. That just means your body's got enough. And so you want to now maintain this nice, even level of magnesium because you use it. And especially if you ever are stressed, stress causes your body to burn magnesium quickly. Okay? So if you're under stress, it is even more important for you to have more magnesium. If you're sick too, if you're sick in any way, your body burns through magnesium quickly. Does the spray bottle work? Yeah, so magnesium oil is also an option. You can buy the flakes. I have flakes on my showcase as well. And you just dilute the flakes in water until it doesn't dissolve anymore. And that concentrated liquid is magnesium oil. And you can put that in a lotion. You can put it directly on your skin. Kind of itches, so leave it on until it dries and then wash it off. But magnesium is incredibly important. So when it comes to your blood pressure especially, there's an inner lining in your vessels inside. It's called the endothelium layer. And just like any other muscle in your body, that endothelium is relaxed by magnesium. So if you have high blood pressure, one of the first things that I recommend people to do is start magnesium, because it's a very easy go-to. This stuff tastes pretty good. Like, it's sweetened with stevia and it's raspberry lemon flavor. My kids love it. But yeah, you can also use the oil as well, magnesium oil, and you can make your own magnesium oil. You said, yeah, I'm on TikTok, Joyce, at BraveWorks RN. I can't type on Facebook. They banned me from typing over there. So if you guys have any questions, just I'll try to take a look. Ivan, outside of that product, which other magnesium supplements can be taken? It's not really a specific kind of magnesium. Any type of magnesium is good. I just recommend powder, getting powder over the capsules or the pills because of the absorption. So powder or the gummies. Gummies are also really helpful when it comes to absorption of magnesium. So, like I was saying, it helps to relax the endothelial lining in your blood vessels. And when your vessels relax, opens them up wider, pressure drops. Okay? So that is how magnesium affects your blood pressure. The cortisol, the sleep, and the lining on the inside of your blood vessels opens them up. Okay? So that is why magnesium is so very important. The next one that I want to talk about is not on my showcase, I don't think. The active ingredient might be allicin, but it's garlic, y'all. Garlic. Glycinate, Michael? Yeah, so this is citrate and glycinate. I think I forgot to mention that. Max Calm is citrate and glycinate together. I used to, before I did any type of education at all, I was using just the Calm, and it was just the citrate powder. But this Max Calm, it's a new product, and I can tell the difference between the Calm and the Max Calm. Yeah, for sure. So, especially for sleep. The glycinate is best for sleep, they say. Rhonda, you say your blood pressure was awesome this morning. That's excellent. Excellent. Great testimony. Yeah. Magnesium is incredible, guys. And you'd be surprised what actually getting a good night's rest does for your blood pressure. And so again, that's where magnesium comes in really well. If you're on melatonin, if you're on Ambien, any of these sleep pills, I would try magnesium for a while to help you wean off some of those, because they can be very addictive, and not necessarily psychologically addictive, but your body will rely on them to sleep. So, does it help with cholesterol levels? Wilma asks. Indirectly, because it basically helps your muscle function better, and when your muscle functions better, it helps to heal your body, clear some of these excess cholesterol buildup in your body, and flush that out. So indirectly, it's not a direct cholesterol lowering supplement. I'll talk about some of those later, but Indirectly it does, yes. What about beetroot for blood pressure? Yeah, I'm going to talk about beetroot next, actually, after the garlic one. Joyce, you don't sleep at all anymore. Yeah, you definitely need some magnesium if you do not sleep well. So garlic, guys, garlic has an active ingredient called allicin. Allicin is the substance that is a direct effect on your blood pressure. And next to magnesium, garlic is one of the most powerful, quickly acting blood pressure reduction supplements that I know. And so not only does it help to lower your blood pressure, but it also does so many other things for your body, and it's very healing for your system, like antifungal, antiparasitic, antibacterial, antiviral. So getting fresh garlic is a must for my family. We always have fresh garlic. We try to get a dose, a clove or two into all of our family at least once a day. So garlic is number 2. You have garlic in your smoothie in the morning. Oh, that sounds delicious. I don't know that I've ever done it in a smoothie, but I do eat it in my food. So you want to eat it raw. You don't want to cook it. When you cook it, it kills the allicin. But crush it onto a sandwich, crush it into some food. All those are options. Ashwagandha, yeah, we're going to talk about ashwagandha. See, I have magnesium capsules. What about increasing dosage since they don't absorb as well? You can try that, yeah. But again, I just really recommend finding some powder, or even crushing the capsules into the powder and then taking the powder. Cayenne, that's on my list too, Janice. So after garlic was beets. Now beets produce nitric oxide for your body. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels as well. So a lot of athletes take artificial nitric oxide to help increase their circulation, to help increase muscle mass and things like that. Beets produce it naturally, or help your body produce it naturally, rather. And so beets, raw beets, beet supplements, I have some capsules in my showcase as well, are incredibly helpful for blood pressure. And does garlic help with kidney function? Indirectly, especially if your kidney function is low because of some sort of infection. Like if you have a UTI or kidney infection, garlic is very, very helpful for fighting that off. And that way it would increase your kidney function. Yes. So next on my list is cayenne pepper, Janice. Cayenne pepper helps your blood pressure by thinning the blood. Okay? So cayenne is a natural blood thinner, and it's a natural arterial and venous repair. So it goes in and it will find weak points in your system and start to repair them. It can stop bleeding. It can stop. It can also stop blood clots. Okay, so strokes, heart attacks, when there is a vessel being occluded or blocked off, cayenne pepper will go in there and break up that occlusion. So it is incredible how it works. Like, I don't even know how it works, but it does. But if you have an arterial bleed, if you cut yourself and you're spurting blood, and you call 911, but you also grab your cayenne pepper and dump it on there and put pressure, and it will go in there and clot off arterial bleeds. Do I have an office? No, I don't have an office. Sorry, Midi. I am in Kentucky. I live in Kentucky. But I don't have an office. I need to get an office. I do. Cayenne, yes. So, yes, it thins blood, it stops bleeding, it clots, it stops clots, and it decides somehow what needs to happen in that specific instance. So, it's incredible. It really is. So I try to get cayenne pepper in my system every day. I forgot today, and I feel the difference. Like it's very energizing. It's a good thing to take pre-workout. I take it with lemonade, lemon water, cayenne pepper, and a little bit of maple syrup. It's really great. So cayenne pepper. Are Max Calm gummies healthy to take? Yeah, I have Max Calm gummies. They're on my TikTok showcase as well. They have melatonin in them though, so it's not just magnesium. And melatonin and I don't get along very well. I've tried them a few times, but oftentimes I still wake up drowsy. How much cayenne pepper? Start with 1/10 of a teaspoon. 1/10 of a teaspoon is where you want to begin, because you have to kind of build up tolerance to it. Not everybody can handle it, because you also want to get above 90,000 heat unit version of cayenne pepper, not just the seasoning you find at Walmart. Like, you want to get the medical grade cayenne pepper, which is above 90,000 heat units. So 1/10 of a teaspoon can be spicy. But I've worked up to about probably 3/4 of a teaspoon in my drink, and I get that down. It's really great for you. Hey, I did what you suggested 3 days, and tonight my blood pressure is 98/68. I only took half my meds. That's what's up, Beryl. That's what's up. Amazing. Will the capsule that is 100,000 heat units okay? Yeah, the capsules work. I prefer mine in powder form and just feel that burn right away. But capsules do work, yes. Coming from California tonight, but I live in Marion. Welcome, Cheryl. Hello, blessings to you all. I have a question. I'm a 59-year-old diabetic. Blood pressure used to be low until it started giving me insulin and blood pressure medication. What can I do to help me to lose myself from these drugs naturally? Please help. Any response is very much appreciated. Okay, guys, for any of you interested in my quiz, I have a quiz. It's takes about 60 seconds. It's absolutely free. I cannot type it in the chat, so when you guys hear this, please somebody type it in the chat for people that miss it. I cannot type it myself. I will get in trouble. So the quiz is bpquiz.com, okay? BP Quiz site. It's the site bpquiz.com. So go there if you have trouble with high blood pressure, and specifically to you, go to that site, take the quiz. When you take the quiz, you'll put in your email address. Please use a real email, and you'll get on my mailing list. And the emails that I send you will be a do-it-yourself version of my program. So it's all free. Emails are free. The quiz is free. Thanks, Theodora. And if you want more help, that's available. But I try to give as much value as possible for free, and to help people understand that lowering your blood pressure is extremely, extremely easy. But it does take intentionality, and it takes education. And so that's why I'm here. And my goal is for you to not have to ever use your blood pressure cuff again, to not have to ever take a blood pressure pill again, and to not ever have to go to the doctor for high blood pressure again, and not to be on supplements either, not to be coming to me instead of the doctor. No, because that's not healing. I want you to be healed of high blood pressure. But it does take intentionality. So that quiz, it talks about the blood pressure triangle. And so that's something that I created that helps you understand that there's more than just what the doctor tells you is involved with your blood pressure, okay? Oftentimes in the medical system, I'm a nurse, been a nurse for 20 years, we talk about high blood pressure related to salt and lack of exercise and maybe obesity, and that's about it. Um, Golden Lady, getting you some Max Calm, nice. I'm gonna drink me some here soon too. I can't take it too early. I start to fall asleep here on live, but so we often just put everybody into this same little cubby and try to streamline everybody with high blood pressure down this one track of, start out with one pill, and then you come back, your blood pressure is still high, so we give you another pill, and another pill, and another pill, or raise the dosage, double the dose, and on and on and on until you're on 5 and 6 pills at max dose and your blood pressure still is not fixed. That's really lucrative for us in the hospital, okay? You are making our doctors very happy with this lifetime subscription to what I call the sick club. And this club requires you to stay sick to be a member, okay? Because that's a very, very lucrative cycle, all right? And so what I'm trying to teach you is that there is a way off this cycle. There's a way off this merry-go-round. But it does take intentionality and it does take education. So even though you may get you some magnesium, and it is great and it's going to help your blood pressure, it's still not going to fix the problem. And so my quiz helps you to identify one of the 3 parts of the triangle that are most common problems in your blood pressure situation, okay? Thank you for putting the link in the chat, guys. Keep putting that link every so often for me so I don't get banned. But basically, the 3 points of the triangle are cortisol, hormones, and that one, especially for women over 40, that's a big one. That's a big, big point of the triangle that is causing your blood pressure to be high. I got some of that, but I'm afraid to try it. I don't like anything to make me feel if it does a lot. Yeah, just start small, Samantha. Start with 1 teaspoon. It's not going to do anything crazy to you. That's the thing I love about supplements. Like, the side effects are just sleepiness, maybe, a little bit of drowsiness, but like side effects from herbs and supplements is like one thing. When you take the pills and the things from the hospital, you've got this long list of side effects, including death and dismemberment and like all these crazy side effects, and people are just popping them left and right. But supplements and herbs are not like that at all. So anyway, back to my triangle. So with women over 40, your cortisol and your hormones are a big trigger for your blood pressure, okay? I won't go into huge detail with that, but it is a big one. And then the other point is your blood sugar. So for those of you that are diabetic, you're most likely suffering also from high blood pressure because of your sugar, okay? And then the 3rd point on the triangle is pipe pressure. So we've got hormone pressure, sugar pressure, and pipe pressure. And the pipe pressure, it occurs primarily from lifestyle choices, things like smoking and drinking and eating meat products and acidic foods and not getting enough sleep, not getting enough water, not walking enough. There's a lot of lifestyle problems and causes on that point of the triangle. But on my quiz, it helps you to identify which one of those points of the triangle are really causing your high blood pressure. So BP Quiz site is where you go to, and it is pretty enlightening. And again, it's all free. You get on my email list for free. Thanks for all the hearts, guys. And when you're on that list, I'm going to send you at least a 10-day sequence of emails that helps walk you through stuff that you can try at home. You can do at home. So a lot of what I'm teaching you can do on your own. However, when it comes to needing coaching, some of you need an extra hand. Some of you, you struggle with the accountability issue. You struggle with wanting somebody to just look over your shoulder and say, you're doing a good job, this is working, keep it up, that sort of thing. And if that is you, just send me a message, a direct message on Facebook, on TikTok, and just say the word coaching. I get a lot of messages in my inbox, and if you say the word coaching, you can get from me a link that you will have a 30-minute session with me, okay? 30 minutes, I do it for free. It's against all my marketing advice, but I do want to spend some one-on-one time with people just so that they understand how I can help them further. So it's not a sales pitch, but it is you understanding that yes, I can work with you one-on-one. I have a 90-day program and a 30-day program right now. So those are not free, no, but they are affordable, especially when the price of not getting this fixed starts to add up. How many of you have paid money for the subscription to stay sick? Your blood pressure is still the same. Your blood pressure has not changed. You're still managing it with pills. You're still trying to eat right. You're still trying to do all these things to get your blood pressure right, but nothing is actually being healed. My job is to fix it, okay? I'm the blood pressure fix-it guy. I'm not here to coddle you and to keep you on a bunch of supplements that you buy for me forever. No. I want you to not need my services again. So that's what my coaching is about, all right? And it's expedited. It's so that you can get this faster. You know, it's all about saving time. And so within 90 days, we're talking about getting off of 2 and 3 and 4 pills and changing your life for the better. So I see a lot of people commenting coaching. That's great. I cannot save it though from here. So I see it, but I can't save it. So send me a message in my inbox on Facebook and on TikTok. Send me a message so that I know who you are and where to send the link, okay? All right, so we talked about magnesium, we talked about garlic, we talked about cayenne, we talked about, seemed like there was something else, but ashwagandha. Somebody asked about that. Ashwagandha is another really great supplement. I also have that in my TikTok showcase. But ashwagandha is a really great cortisol target supplement, okay? I drink lemon water with cayenne. Helen, that is great. Cayenne pepper, yeah, that is really great stuff. That's what I do. I try to do that every morning. So ashwagandha has been shown in research to cut cortisol by up to 30%. And, you know, a lot of people, okay, I got to talk about cortisol for a second, because out of all the points on the triangle, I really believe that cortisol is the top point. I haven't fully built out what is the number one top point, but I'm officially making it cortisol, like right now. You guys are live. I'm doing it right now. The top point, the number one cause of high blood pressure is cortisol. And I would gander that about 90% of you people on high blood pressure medication are suffering from high cortisol, okay? And one of the reasons is that stress is not fully understood. Neither is hormones, okay? Now, stick around because I'm going to tell you about a hormone event coming up that you're going to be interested in if you are a female and you are over 40. But cortisol, stress is not understood. What do I mean by that? The amount of stress that you are under as a general member of American society, and I'm primarily talking to Americans here, but I know that around the world, stress is still a high problem. But in America specifically, stress has become the true pandemic, okay? Because we're dealing not only with environmental stressors like day-to-day stress, but we're also dealing with emotional stress that we don't want to talk about, okay? We're talking about unforgiveness. We're talking about grief, loss, emotional pain, anger, depression. These are all stressors on the body and cause your cortisol to be high, okay? Thanks for your help with us old folks. Will, hey, it's my pleasure, man. And so when it comes to lowering your cortisol, the first thing to start, yes, would be something like ashwagandha, cuts that in about 30%. That's very helpful. But the second thing that you need to do is really identify where your cortisol is coming from, okay? Yes, it can be your job. Yes, it can be your kids or your grandkids or, politics, whatever. But a lot of times it's something deeper that we are not facing. We're not wanting to deal with, okay? Something from our past, something, deeply damaging and hurtful to us. Lavolia, so things like grief, loss, anger, unforgiveness, emotional pain, physical pain. What was the other one? Depression, anxiety, worry. Those are all the cortisol sources that we oftentimes don't even think about when somebody says, hey, are you stressed? You're like, no, I'm not stressed, I'm chill. But those are the things that we don't register as sources of cortisol. They did a study and they found that when a person is experiencing road rage, like we've all experienced that, right? Anger in traffic or whatever. 10 minutes of road rage is equivalent, because of the cortisol, equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes. An entire pack of cigarettes, 10 minutes of road rage. So now imagine the amount of stress that you are under every single day just from imagining the anger that you feel towards somebody that did something to you in your past. You replay that in your mind and you get all those feelings riled up again, and it never really goes away because you don't deal with it. So yes, find the cause, address the cause. How do you address the cause? Here's my number one suggestion for addressing the cause of anger, unforgiveness, depression, anxiety, worry, all of these internal balls of stress and strain is, and this is scientifically proven, guys, this is science, okay? This isn't woo-woo, this is science. Gratitude, okay? Being thankful. And I say this in my videos all the time because it's so simple, it's easy for your brain to just be like, oh, that's dumb. I'm not going to do that. But here's why it works, and this is why science is teaching, is that your brain cannot do two things at once. You know, you ladies, you're great at multitasking, but you're only switching from one thing to the other. You aren't actually doing two things at once. Your brain cannot focus on two things at one time. And so if you train your brain to be grateful, Michael, grateful, thanks, man. I'm grateful for you being here, man. If you are grateful, your brain cannot be anxious at the same time. If you are thankful, your brain cannot be unforgiving and angry at the same time. And so you start to rewire your brain, your neurons, away from those areas of anxiousness and worry and strain and stress. And that's how you fix the cortisol source. Okay? Now, some of you definitely may require more coaching, more intervention, but you need to start there, because you'd be surprised at how much of your stress and strain can be cut in half by just practicing gratefulness. Now, how do you do that? I say 25 things that I'm thankful for before I go to bed at night. I don't count sheep. I list things that I'm thankful for. First thing in the morning, I gather my kids around and we all say things that we're thankful for, or we sing. We sing praises. But listing things that we're thankful for is something that we practice daily in my family. My wife writes 100 things that she's thankful for on a notebook every single morning. And it's incredible what it does. Like, there's some things outside of the physical realm that we just don't understand. This is one of them. Science can't explain how this works, but all they know is that it works. There's tons of research on the cardiac effects of gratefulness and the recovery of post-op open heart surgical patients just from being grateful. So it's very real science, and it's very, very effective. So that's my little soapbox on cortisol. Where were we? Supplements, guys. Okay. We are talking about supplements. We talked about beets. That was the other one we talked about. Anybody have any questions? We have about 20 minutes left. So anybody have any questions at this point? I've been talking a lot. I want to answer questions. So let's see. I'm going to roll back up through here. Do you know much about Almestran blood pressure meds? User 3375, Almestran, not specifically, but they all work in about the same ways. There's several different areas of the body that blood pressure medications work. But you can message me a specific question about that. I heard HCTZ can cause high blood glucose. Is this true? Hydrochlorothiazide can cause high blood glucose, mostly because it dehydrates you and thickens your blood. So all the water that your body needs to lower your blood sugar is gone. And so the thickness, the viscosity of your blood rises because of the diuretic effect, and your glucose can go up because of that, yes. How about ACID? What do you recommend? I'm not sure what that is, Tony. ACID, tell me what that is. On losartan, 25 milligrams, and want to get off them. Yeah, Samantha, losartan's easy sauce. Go to my site, take the quiz, get on my list, and let's talk coaching. Is it possible to detox through soaking feet? Yes, especially if there's like charcoal in the water. It's a good detox for your feet. Magnesium is also a good foot detox. Is there a supplement to lower cortisol? Yeah, ashwagandha is the good one. Saffron is also good. I have saffron in my showcase on TikTok as well. Let me see over here. Saffron is an herb that really helps anxiety, stress. Um, yeah. Oh, AFib. 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 So I find AFib's a lot of stress relation. So um, because I'm a nurse, there's not a lot I can say about it because it's a diagnosis. But send me a message, Tony. Let's hop on a call and let's talk. Can you put cayenne pepper on food instead of putting in water? Yes, I eat cayenne pepper in food all the time. What impact does drinking okra water have on blood pressure? It's hydrating. So water is the one that I wanted to talk about and I forgot. Water is definitely your first go-to because if you order magnesium, it'll take a couple days to get here. But water, boom, you can start that tonight. And that's going to help lower the viscosity of your blood, which means thin it out and help to lower your pressure naturally. And sip water. Don't drink a ton of water all at the same time. Can we use Epsom salt to detox the feet? Yeah. Epsom salt soaks for your feet is a great detox. Is it healthy to take the gummies, Max Calm? Yeah. Gummies are good. I like the powder better though. Do you have to eat beets raw to get the best benefits? No. There's also beet supplements. I have those in my TikTok showcase. You can get the effects of the beets. But I always say the closer you get to the actual plant when you're trying to get supplementation, the better. Okay. I stand in the sun first thing in the morning and pray and give thanks. A good way to start my day. Yeah, Patricia, that's a great way to start your day. In your shop, do you have ashwagandha? Yeah, I have ashwagandha in my shop. I also have ashwagandha gummies in my shop as well. Even if you're diabetic, is detox with Epsom salt okay? Yes. If you're diabetic, though, you don't want to put your feet in hot water. So make sure the water is lukewarm with the Epsom salt because generally you have lower sensitivity in your feet. Do you have Roselia? I don't have Roselia in my showcase. I'll have to look that one up. How much hibiscus tea per day to help with blood pressure? I just started drinking it. Love it. Yes, hibiscus tea, that's one I didn't talk about. It is also incredible. It's also a nitric oxide source like beets. But for those of you that are diabetic and beets is a lot of sugar, hibiscus is a good alternative. And 2 to 3 cups of that a day is a great place to start to lower your blood pressure naturally. I've started eating walnuts and pistachios and I'm taking beet supplements and it helps, but I want my blood pressure to stay consistently low. I got it down to 119 Sunday, 110 May, but I want it to be consistently low. I do walk 5 days a week, 20 minutes. What else should I do? AIDG, that is a great start. Your blood pressure looks pretty good. I think that if it's still spiking, you're probably not eliminating the cause. So the reason I harp on the cause is because no matter how much supplementation you take or how much exercise or how much water you drink, it's like a guy that comes to the doctor and is like, hey, I have back pain. And so the doctor gives him a pain pill. Comes back again. My back pain is worse. I need more pain medicine. So he ups his dose. Back pain, back pain, back pain. More meds, more meds, more meds. Finally, somebody looks at the guy's back and he's got a knife stuck in his back. That's what it's like when you try to supplement your way out of high blood pressure. You are trying to fix a problem without fixing the problem. So finding the cause is the best way to fix your blood pressure, okay? Same with low blood pressure, Cookie. You need to find the cause of your low blood pressure. Oftentimes, low blood pressure is dehydration, not drinking enough water. But it can also be if you are not symptomatic, like if you don't have symptoms of low blood pressure, like if you're not dizzy, not nauseated, never pass out or anything like that, then low blood pressure may be okay for you. There's people that live with low blood pressure, and that's just who they are. And so nobody has the same blood pressure. And your blood pressure will vary depending on how you feel, depending on what you're thinking about, depending on where you're at, depending on what you ate, depending on how much sleep you got. And so it is like a whole life number that people put a lot of emphasis on. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you just need to find why the number is what it is. And if you don't like the number, change the why. Change the why. Don't try to throw pills at it. Don't try to throw supplements at it. Fix the why. Hibiscus has lots of lead. Probably depends on where it's from. Joy, what if it's hereditary? Genetics. Genetics writes the recipe. Lifestyle bakes the cake, y'all. Genetics is a factor, but it is not the way that you think. Because if you had a hereditary gene for high blood pressure, then you would have high blood pressure at the age of 10. But you didn't have a blood pressure cuff that you put on every day at recess to check your blood pressure. Lifestyle is what really causes the high blood pressure. And so for some of you females over 40, it can be your hormones as well. Because when estrogen drops, you're not as protected against cortisol as you used to be. Brian, how do you find the showcase? If you go to TikTok, BraveWorks RN, and then under my picture, there's a button that says showcase, and that's where you go for my supplements. Is blood pressure the only area that you teach? No, it's not. Purple High Heels. I teach pretty much anything chronic disease related. I've even done a lot of cancer teaching, but in order to stay on social media, blood pressure has been the friendliest topic to speak on. So, how do I find the root cause, Siobhan? That is a really great question. And one of the best ways to find the cause is to find the beginning. Find the first time you noticed the problem. Okay, and not necessarily when the doctor discovered it, but when you felt it. The first time you had the pain, the first time you felt the head pressure because your blood pressure was high, or the first time your heart skipped a beat too many, or you had the chest pain, or you had the difficulty breathing. What was the first time? And then you start there and examine what was going on in your life. What was changing about your body? What was changing about your lifestyle habits? Those are some of the first steps. Now, I go into a lot of more detail in my coaching. I put you through a big assessment that's going to identify a lot of causes from my perspective. But if you're interested in that, again, we can hop on a call. We can talk about coaching. I can't coach everyone, so unfortunately, but I do try to get a few clients a month that I pick, people that are willing to follow what I say. That's the big thing, because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I want to work with people that are interested in doing what I tell them because of my experience and because I'm showing you just from this video. If you follow what I say just from this live, you can fix your blood pressure on your own. You don't need my coaching. But some of you have extra things that you need to work on. Some of you are diabetic, some of you have other chronic illnesses associated, or maybe your blood pressure is starting to really break down your organs. Maybe you're in kidney failure. Those are things where there are things that you can do, but you really need to have a coach by your side walking with you. So if that is something you're interested in, coaching, send me a message. Send me a direct message on TikTok or Facebook, or email me, BraveWorksRN@gmail. Okay? BraveWorksRN@gmail. And just say the word coaching and I'll send you the link. What can cause swollen feet and legs? Diabetic, high blood pressure, take medication. Swollen feet and legs is just a fluid problem, but the fluid is leaking out of your arteries and veins because of some of your lifestyle issues. So it could be a variety of things. It could be maybe you sit at a desk for long periods of time. You don't walk a lot. You may be low in magnesium. That's usually the first go-to. So try magnesium to start, because that helps to pull fluid in the right places. You may not be drinking enough water. You may be dehydrated. So that's a big, I don't want to say lie. That's a strong word. But it is a lie. The healthcare system says to people, don't drink water if your legs are swollen. Swelling legs is your body's attempt to hoard water. And so it's feeling like you're never going to get enough water, so it moves fluid where it's not supposed to be. So when you start drinking enough water, that swelling will start to decrease. When you start walking, every 40 minutes, get up, walk around 5-10 minutes, because the lower legs don't have a pump to pull that fluid back into the lymph system. So you have to walk. And then getting off of foods that are causing that extra swelling, that extra sodium shift. Like processed meat is the big one. So, what do you suggest basic vitamins? Tonight, so basic vitamins is also a big money pit for the pharmaceutical industry. You don't need vitamins. You need to eat a balanced diet. You need to eat fruits and vegetables, raw especially, and you will have the vitamins that you need. The older you get, you often need a bit more help though, and I always recommend just a prenatal vitamin. Prenatal vitamins are some of the most put together and well-crafted vitamins on the market. You don't have to be pregnant to take prenatals. So, Cheryl, what if you're in a wheelchair? Good question. So there's ways to exercise even in a wheelchair by using like leg pumps, by manipulating your feet in a walking motion. It's just a matter of activating those calf muscles to move the fluid. So you can have somebody do it for you. You can just do leg raises, calf raises in a sitting position. You can get one of those little hooks that grab the top of your foot and just pull your foot up and down. That's also, and you can also elevate your legs. So check out my TikTok or Facebook videos. I have several on there about leg swelling, and there's 5 steps that you can do every day to decrease your leg swelling. How do you combat white coat syndrome? If you get my BP reset kit on my BP quiz site, it has white coat syndrome help. It's a PDF. It's just kind of step by step how to, some things that you can do. One of them is box breathing. Learning how to control your breathing when you get to the doctor's office is really helpful. And it's just breathe in 4 seconds, out 6 seconds, In 4 seconds, out 6 seconds, and then hold at the corners. Hold your breath for a few seconds. And that just really kind of recalibrates your breathing pattern and helps to lower that stress. But yeah, white coat syndrome is a real thing, and it's one of the best ways we get people onto medications is by having that anxiety for people when they come in. And we pop them on some pills, man. Get a little extra cash. Is bike riding as effective as walking? It's pretty good, yeah. And it's really easy on the joints as well. So bike riding is definitely good. What's good to take for kidney? Depending on the level of kidney damage, water is really just the first thing that you need to start doing. Eliminate everything but water. It's the other things that you drink generally that are really damaging to kidneys. Teas, coffees, sodas, those are all things that damage the kidneys. And so when you are drinking just water and enough water, your kidneys are going to be so happy. How much magnesium should you take every day? I take a heaping tablespoon every night. I'm about to take my heaping tablespoon here shortly. This stuff, it's delicious. I sleep like a baby, man. So I would start there, Jane. If you still are suffering from high blood pressure and insomnia and stuff, try taking another heaping tablespoon in the morning. And you'll know you've got enough in your system when your stool starts to get loose. Is there a supplement to take to replace atorvastatin? And best thing to lower cholesterol over here, Brendy and Denise. Red yeast rice is in my showcase. That's pretty much it as far as supplements. But again, I recommend fixing the cause. And the cause of high cholesterol is not what people think. Cholesterol is there to fix damage to your vessels. So you have micro holes in your vessels put there by eating acidic foods, by high stress, by eating meat, dairy products that is really acidic, damages those vessels, by smoking, by drinking. A lot of these lifestyle habits causes these micro holes, and cholesterol is there to repair those holes. And so your body will keep producing cholesterol to repair your system, and that's why it's high. So when you start eliminating those things, your cholesterol will naturally start dropping. But red yeast rice is on my showcase as well. That's a good one to get to start. Okay, but again, look for the cause, because you'll just be popping red yeast rice the rest of your life, or staying on atorvastatin. And those statins are very, very damaging for the brain. There's a lot of studies out there connecting statins to early onset dementia, Alzheimer's. Yeah, so sciatic sits in my butt, lots of pain, inflammation. Yeah, sciatic is a lot of stretching problem. So if you have sciatica, stretch more. Stretch and walk. Stretch and walk. Stretch and walk. Bend at the waist. Stretch out your hamstrings. Stretch out your legs, back of your legs. What about acid? I eat really healthy. I cannot drink cherry juice. Cheryl, acid is really mostly sourced from meat products, animal products. So if you have trouble with acid, eat more plants and more raw. YouTube sciatica stretches. Yeah, Jerry, great advice. Go to YouTube on sciatic stretches. I should probably make some videos on that, honestly. I should. Can you just stop taking amlodipine? I finally found hibiscus tea. Guys, do not stop taking your medications. You will get me into a lot of trouble. I am here to tell you that it is not my plan to get you to stop medications. I want your doctor to stop you from taking those medications. And he will, or she will. It's a matter of having documentation that your blood pressure looks a certain way for a specific period of time, a week or two, 2 to 3 weeks. And that's what I do with people in coaching, is I help them monitor their pressure over a period of time, so they take that information to their doctor, and their doctor says, okay, it's time to take you off of amlodipine, or it's time to cut your metoprolol in half, or it's time to decrease your hydrochlorothiazide dose because your blood pressure looks amazing. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Okay? So, pill or powder of ashwagandha. I have the gummies and pills of ashwagandha in my showcase on TikTok. I also have maca with ashwagandha. I've been taking that. It's very nice. It's very good. I'm using Rebounder to increase bone strength and clear lymphatic system. Rebounder is incredible. Yes, absolutely. Especially if some of you cannot get out walking, a rebounder, just gentle up and down, is also really, really helpful. Water aerobics, yes, very good on the joints, Sheila. Water aerobics. I need to increase my kidney levels. Brenda, increase your kidney levels exactly how? How do you mean? Are you saying red yeast rice? Yes, red yeast rice. Red yeast rice. What to do about fibrillation? Thanks, Theodora. Red yeast rice. Yes, correct. Atrial fibrillation. So a lot of that is stress, Rose, but that's something we would have to get on a call and talk about. You may need some further coaching with that. But it is, too, a lifestyle thing. There's some things that are probably stressing you internally. Maybe you haven't explored. Maybe you're very deep emotional issues. Because when people talk about the heart, and they talk about the heart from an emotional place, that emotional and the physical heart are very, very connected. And so when your heart, the physical heart, is beating abnormally, it is often connected to an actual emotional event, emotional condition. So that's not something we deal with in the hospital. We don't have time to unwrap your feelings. All we have time to do is to give you some pills, to talk about surgery or how close you are to having a heart attack, on and on and on. But the connection is very, very real. So any type of AFib, AFib with RVR, any of those chronic abnormal heart rates, heartbeats, heart rhythms rather, I always try to explore with people their emotional state. Okay, so yeah, but if any of you are interested in coaching, send me a message on TikTok or on Facebook or my email, BraveWorksRN@gmail, and I will send you a link. We can set up a time to talk. My 30-minute session is free. And I help you identify a few causes, a few things that you can do on your own. And if you'd like to work further with me, I do share with you what packages I have available. So, they say I have CKD after taking my annual blood work. Okay, yeah, so chronic kidney disease. So you really want your kidney numbers to go down. And there is ways to do that. One of the ways is to only drink water. Only drink water. A lot of the sodas, the teas, the coffees, the caffeine are directly affecting kidneys. And so we have to resort to just drinking water if your kidneys are sick. All right. Beyond that, we would have to chat, Brenda. So you can send me a message, and I can get you a link for coaching. Are raw beets best to get the most benefit? Yes, raw beets are the best way to get the benefits. But you can do supplements as well. Beet supplements are on my TikTok showcase. Lori, what to do for constipation? The number one cure for constipation, boom, water. Constipation, number one reason is dehydration. Okay? Dehydration. Half your body weight in ounces, that's where you start. You set a goal for a gallon a day, and you will not have constipation issues. How do I remove calcium from my arteries? Water, hydration, grapefruit. Grapefruit is the roto-rooter of arteries. And I know, first thing you're going to say probably is, I'm on a pill that they say don't eat grapefruit. Yeah, we can help you with that. We can help you with that. Send me a message for coaching. PVC, yeah, Sheila, PVCs. That was the other one I was trying to think of. AFib RBR, PVCs, heart skips a beat. You know, a lot of that is stress or emotional issues. Trace minerals for absorption of water. Yes, Celtic salt is a good one. I know Barbara O'Neill talks about that a lot. Oh, speaking of Barbara O'Neill, I forgot to tell you ladies about the hormone event I was going to tell you about. So June 24th and 25th, June 24th, 25th, Barbara O'Neill is going to be live in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay? Now, it's not going to be like a normal Barbara O'Neill event. She's rarely in the U.S., but this event is going to be a luxury event. So for females, yes, it does cost, but it's going to be at a luxury hotel, and it's going to be catered food by luxury chefs, vegan chefs, and they're only going to be talking about hormones. It's going to be a panel of experts. My wife is one of them. I will be there as well. So if you would like to meet me, if you would like to meet Barbara O'Neill, if you would like to meet my wife, and you would like to transform your life from hormonal imbalance. So a lot of what we're talking about tonight is hormonal imbalance, hair thinning, weight that won't go away, painful periods, heavy bleeding in your periods, perimenopause, menopausal symptoms, the hot flashes. All of those things are not normal, okay? A lot of those things are imbalances that can be fixed. You just need a little bit of education, a little bit of coaching, and you can get that fixed. So if you would like to come and have your hormones transformed by Barbara O'Neill herself and meet her face to face, ask her questions, ask me questions live, go to restoreherhormones.com. Okay? Restore Her Hormones. And I know I'm saying that site. Type it in the message, please, so I don't have to say it again and potentially get spanked by TikTok. But Restore Her Hormones, okay? I have Barbara O'Neill books and products. She sells the wild yam cream, which I have. Yeah, Lois, that wild yam cream is great. But she's going to be there, and the event is actually going to be not only for menopausal women, perimenopausal women, but also for young women. It's going to be for mothers with daughters, and they don't know how to have that conversation about hormones, and you know, things that you wished your mother taught you about hormones, things that would keep you off of fertility drugs, would keep you off of birth control. All those things wreak havoc on women's systems, and so they go from taking birth control when they're young to needing fertility medications just to have a child, because the birth control did such havoc on their hormones. And so this is education that's not out there. It's not been put into a place where women can come And it's just going to be a room full of women talking about how to fix their hormones. So, restore her hormones. Yep. .com. If you could put that in the chat for me, restoreherhormones.com. And go there, get a ticket. There is virtual options available, but you got to go live, guys. It's going to be an incredible pampering experience. There's a spa in the hotel. It's going to be at the Galt House. Google the Galt House right now. Go, the Galt House, G-A-L-T. It's the most fancy hotel in Louisville. It's also the oldest hotel in Louisville. And that's where we're going to be, pampering women, teaching them about their hormones, helping them connect with their daughters, sisters, mothers in a new way. So, yeah, thank you, Theodora, so much. Guys over here on TikTok, if you could drop that link, restoreherhormones.com. And again, if you'd like to meet me, I'll be there. You guys can come out and meet Joel, BraveWorks RN. So anyways, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I have a friend having heavy bleeding and put on birth control, and she got a blood clot in her leg. Yep. It's all a terrible cycle. And the first thing they do if you get breast cancer is take you off of all the HRTs, the birth control, because they know it's a stimulus for breast cancer and uterine cancer and all the female hormone-related cancers. So it's a terrible, terrible system. Estrogen is high. What to take? Wild yam cream is a good one. That's in my showcase as well. But yeah, if you really want education on hormones, come out. Louisville, Kentucky, June 24th, 25th. But if anything, just go to BP Quiz site and take my quiz. I'm going to be telling you about it in my emails. So you will be up to date if you take my quiz and put in your email. Okay. I'm thinning in my middle part, follicular maturation, and hair has always been super fine. Yep, that's hormones. All things net. That is hormones. Either get a virtual ticket or come live and learn from Barbara herself. All right, guys, thanks so much for coming out. It's been wonderful. Go to bpquiz.com. Take the quiz, get on my mailing list. Let's do this again next week. This was a blast. Have a blessed night.